starting the little deal
stream.
there. Yeah. 10 seconds.
Man, I'm gonna move that camera back. You got it so fucking close.
Leave it alone.
Fine. I'll leave it alone? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll move back.
Okay. We are live again. Hold on 1 second. Let me share this with the world. Okay.
Live.
Screen share. Window. I guess that's the only way to do it, huh? Let's see. Sharing screen audio. If you have a guest, they will hear themselves. Oh, great. So let's not do that. Give me 1 second. I'm still working out the tech goblins here. Okay, Kim, can you hear me?
Yep.
All righty.
Gotcha.
Let's see if I can get this working right. I'm trying here. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that was
Is this
funny.
the first time you
I thought he was doing a special
this
effect.
program?
Huh? What was that? What happened, Kim?
You're doing better than I would.
Yeah, it's not showing you on here, though. I don't know why. Oh, it's always something. Let me see if I can do this here.
Yeah, always something.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh, let me...
You're brave to tackle all these technical challenges.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I'm trying to get it working. It was just working the other day.
Oh.
Okay, won't let me screen share. Don't know why. Interesting.
For like what, Facebook?
Yeah, it won't show Kim on Facebook for some reason. Let me see. Share screen. Try that. Okay. I just want to share the window. That's it.
Yeah.
No. I don't want to share the entire screen. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, I don't know if that's working. Does it work?
Let me check.
Probably not, because I see it down here. It's just us. Okay. Well, we're on YouTube now. We're live on YouTube. There's that.
Okay.
But they don't see you on Facebook because my computer's being weird now.
Huh.
Well, everybody on Facebook, Kim is very much with us on the channel. You'll just see me and Angel for now, but you'll hear her as well. So we're not sure why she's not on there, but she is visible to us and you'll hear her. So Josh and CPO are here.
I'm working on it. If I do that, it's going to show everything.
Oh, maybe it needs to.
No.
I wonder if I have to do something on my end.
Well, let's try that. Nope. As soon as I go do that, it goes crazy. No, I want to minimize that. I want to bring us over. Okay. There we go.
Woohoo!
A little better.
All right.
All right, can't see me now. Well, this is annoying.
Oh, you could move the camera
Hey,
this
you
way.
did it.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to back up the camera.
Yep.
But I don't know if it's showing on Facebook, though. We have to see. No, it's not. It's not streaming on
No.
Facebook.
Okay.
Okay. Let me try this. Okay. Okay. Terrible. Alrighty. It was just working too. That's very annoying. Today is not a good day for me, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to push through here. It's one of my days too. What you
Keep
were just
pushing.
talking about earlier. Yeah, it's one of my
Oh,
days today.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
trying
I know
to
them. I know them days.
I'm trying to get them through as best as I can, unfortunately, but it's not doing too well. Let's try it again. See if that worked. Did that work?
Let me check.
Trying to screen share Chrome tab. Okay. Well, yeah, it's working.
Ooh!
All right. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna just start the live stream. Let
Good
me get in
job.
here. Yeah. Oh, conclusion.
Agree.
You did it.
Conclusion. Yeah. So I had to do it
Success.
backwards. I had to do it backwards, Kim.
Oh,
Yeah, I was doing the application to Facebook and not Facebook to application.
You got this. He's good because me, I
Oh.
would have been like, ah.
Yeah. It was getting there. Sorry. This one. Let me hear. Sorry. This one. There we go.
oh, don't
Now
apologize.
we go live. Okay. All right. We're in.
Woohoo.
Jesus
You done
Christ,
it.
that was
Done it.
rough. Okay. Now I just got to push this back so that way we can enjoy the festivities here.
Yes.
Boy,
Yeah. Enjoy the show.
enjoy the show. There we go. That should be good, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
If I can get my round button here. Yeah. All right. We're back.
All right.
Kim, welcome back to the Postal Truth. Oh,
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
evening.
I gotta.
Nice to see
Yeah.
you guys again.
Likewise.
too.
Likewise. Hopefully my co-host doesn't kill me here because I forgot to put her name back in. Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, we're gonna start our normal housekeeping, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna just get a short one because we're starting pretty late today. Give me
Oh, no
one
problem.
second.
Oh, they said it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a thing, but we're happy everybody's back. Thank you so much for getting back on here
And your patience.
and your patience because it's been hard getting this working. Okay, go in here and get this done.
You got it,
Read
though.
this out because I have wonderful fans that are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We
For
do.
sure.
Here we go. This program is presented for educational, informational, and journalistic purposes only. The views expressed are based on personal experiences, contemporaneous documents, and good faith interpretations of federal law and policy as they existed at the time discussed. This broadcast does not provide legal or medical advice and does not assert criminal liability against any individual. References to employment, actions, union representation, medical documentation, workers' compensation, FMLA, reasonable accommodation, or termination are discussed to inform the public about rights, processes, and accountability, not to relitigate past cases. Certain topics may include workplace harassment, health impacts, and emotional distress. Viewers are advised to use discretion. If this content is difficult, support is available in the United States. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers confidential help 24/7. All names are used with permission of or limited for privacy. Retaliation, intimidation, or misuse of this content against any guest, viewer, or whistleblower is prohibited and may itself violate federal law. Facts and sources referenced are accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording and preserved for transparency. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Postal Truth. I'm Angel. This is my lovely co-host Jessica, my lovely bride.
Hi.
And again, we have the wonderful Kim back on our show.
Kim.
In better quality too, I might add, right?
Yes.
Yay.
Nice to hear, Kim. We see you clearly. We hear you
Yeah,
clearly.
it's lovely.
Yeah. So
I'm happy.
right
I'm
now,
excited.
yeah, we got welcome back, Josh. Welcome back,
All right.
Jessica. A few people came back and dropped off. Hopefully they'll come back into the room. And yeah, we're back. We're live. And Facebook will get a longer edit than Facebook. But yes, we're back. So, Kim, we left off last week with you explaining the hardships you were going through as far as postal service, post retaliation, post PTSD, and to which I do sympathize because I am now a survivor myself.
All the
Did we lose you again? I hope not.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Right, the ramifications of what the postal service does to people, and your story really resonated with me personally because I'm going through the same thing right now. The only difference is you were a craft employee speaking out, and I was a manager doing the same thing. So this goes to show the audience, it doesn't matter if you're in craft or in management. If they're out to get you, they're out to get you, and it doesn't matter. And I told the truth. I filed all the reports like you did. I did everything right. And now 10 months in, we're going on, and I'm set to lose everything that I worked my ass off for. So I understand. But I would like for you to finish your story so that the audience can hear the rest of it and hopefully take away something very important, which we're going to talk about, which for me affected me personally, but I'm going to turn it over to you. Please.
Yeah, I hate to hear about what you're going through. And it's, I know that it's hard to fathom if you haven't seen it yourself or seen or know somebody that, but still today I hear people wanting to quit, because of the way they're treated, because of their work environment, because of similar things that I don't know why there hasn't been more changes. I don't understand that. But so it's such a huge problem, I think, that it should be talked about more. It should be more exposed. It affects a lot of people. And, I hear people saying, well, if you don't want to work, quit. Well, you do want to work. You just don't want to work under abuse.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
People don't distinguish that stuff.
No.
And
No.
you know, I get very offended when somebody refers to me as somebody that doesn't want to work, or uh, well, basically just that, because my whole life has been about work. And to have somebody take that away from you and ruin your life, and take your livelihood wrongfully, because they're doing things wrong, is just well, you almost can't believe that it happens. You almost can't believe that. I'll use me for an example. And I understand people can't believe it because they don't know the whole story.
Right.
And unless I sat down and talked to them for 2 months, you know, they're probably not going to know the whole story. But I hope to get enough across that they can understand that it's a problem. And still today, back then and over the years, and still, people don't know why I haven't succeeded. They don't know why I don't hold a job. Because I'll tell you, I have spoke up 5 or 6 times since the Postal Service, uh, mostly with the VA, but
Right.
also I've worked with different agencies. I've seen
Hmm.
management doing things wrong, and I have spoke up, and I have been fired. I think 5 times, wrongfully, because I speak up and I don't sit quiet, and I'm not a sheep,
Right.
and that's not my nature, and I can't
Exactly.
not speak up. I'm like,
That's right.
it's not in me
Right.
to stay quiet. I don't know how people do it, unless
Right.
sometimes I think that they don't know. They don't know management is doing things wrong because they don't know the
No.
rules, which it takes a while to learn the
No.
rules.
Right.
So, but I with the VA does a lot of things wrong. Their managers do, and I called them on several things and several EEOs with them, several uh, grievances with them. They tried a lot of things, and I basically went to war with them as well. But it wasn't as bad as the Postal Service. The Postal Service was the worst. And
Yeah.
so I did, and I did everything I could to keep working,
Hmm.
and including I transferred over to clerk, got out of distribution clerk,
Right.
and unfortunately, the the post office I transferred to be
Hmm.
a window clerk was only about 10 miles from the post office I had been at. And I see these big problems are at the bigger post offices, because you have more managers, you have more employees, you have more work, you have more opportunity for abuse in a bigger facility. So I see, I think people in smaller post offices where they might only have 6 carriers and 2 clerks, something to that effect. Um, they probably don't see these kind of things happening, because
Right.
the amount of work and the amount of people that they work with isn't there. So I think that
Right.
the
Correct.
majority of the big problems are in the bigger facilities, where you have 10 managers that you're dealing with. You
Yes.
have 130 employees. You have
Right.
huge amounts of mail. And I think that's where most of the problems are. But so I did, and I did everything I could. And unfortunately, when I went over to be a window clerk at a smaller post office, which which theoretically should have been a nice job. And I did enjoy
Mm-hmm.
it, except for the harassment. I did enjoy it. Had to learn to be a window clerk, so went through that training, traded my craft, changed my craft. But some of the people there, where I only worked with about, when I went over to the smaller post office, I only worked with about 6 or 7 people over there. So, uh, which normally would be a good thing. But some of them were friends with my abusive supervisor and the postmaster and some other people over at the other post office. So it actually carried over to an extent, and wasn't as bad, but it was still there. And eventually, I did take some family medical leave again there when I after I transferred over there because my father was in the hospital for over a year, uh, and he was in bad shape in the same state, but a couple 3-4 hours away. So I would go visit him when I could, and would take a week off to do that because of the distance and that.
Yeah.
And of course, I wasn't happy. I was sad. It was a sad time all the way around, and
Right.
so they were just mainly there was one employee that I worked
Okay.
with there that was also a window clerk who
Mm.
was hostile every day because he was friends with the people in the other post. He had also worked at the other post office, where I had come from, and so he knew
Mm.
me and he knew some of the people, uh, and he just carried it over basically to the other post office. So it still went on, and I just things like you're not smiling. You need to smile to
Excuse
customers
me.
and that. And I'm
Right.
like, you took my smile away, a while back. I don't smile. I'm not happy. I show up to work and I do the job. But you need to smile. And then they basically tried to write me up because I failed to follow instructions because I didn't smile after they had told me that I need to smile.
You
And
don't.
That's
You
ridiculous.
do not need to smile. That is not in the postal policy to make you
yeah,
smile.
they're
The
ridiculous.
policy states you're there to do your job effectively with courtesy. Yes, but
Yeah, right.
because you don't smile, I
Yeah.
mean,
So what? So, and I mean, because half the time I'd be up there being a window clerk, and half the time I'd be in the back of the uh, postal service, post office there,
mhm,
meeting with the union and fighting with management because they were doing this and that and the other thing. So you come straight from a union meeting and union management meeting going over bad things,
right.
and then you go back up to the window. Yeah, I'm not smiling, no, but I'm doing it. And so, and then another thing they were holding against me was they I had a little small window area where I would work, and the
Mhm,
air conditioning was blowing down on me all the time, and they had
right.
it turned down so low, and everybody was wearing jackets, and this was in the summer, wearing jackets and sweaters because it was so cold in there. So I would go turn it to where it would be a little warmer, wouldn't blow so much, and it was actually making me sick. It gave me a cold, probably 4 or 5 times because it was just kept blowing on me, and so the postmaster was like, well, don't, somebody else is complaining that you're turning the air conditioner down and that. And I said, well, I'm freezing, my lips are turning blue, I'm getting colds, I'm freezing, it doesn't need to be that cold in here. So I continued to turn it down when I got a chance. And so then I was, written up for that. Failure to follow instructions, you turn the air conditioner down. And I'm like, well, because it's making me sick. So little things like that they would just nitpick and persist and persist with just little things all the time. And it wasn't as bad as the previous post office, but it was still there. So um, after, and then they were mad because I was taking family medical leave and taking some time off. They'd get mad because they had to
Right.
cover or whatever. And
Yeah. The time.
they were just very holding grudges and
Yeah. They made
uh,
it personal.
yeah, they just
Yeah, they
remained
made it personal.
hostile.
Yeah, they made it. They made it personal. Personal.
And
Yeah.
and I still have Mike is still active, of course, because it carry on. Yeah, they care. The complaints stay active for 4 or 5 years because they're still being investigated. So I had an open complaint against some of the people there, and so that, you know, of course, it festers and it causes problems and things like that. So the problems continued,
Right.
depression continued, and I had some other things going on in my life that were not good, and contributing to the depression and that. And
Right.
so it was a very hard couple of years. And so finally, they called me in the back for a meeting, and they sat me down for my, I guess I would call it my firing meeting. And so the union steward was there, union president was there, postmaster was there, and me. And so they had I don't remember everything, but they had a list of about 6 or 7 little trivial things
Mm-hmm.
that went back about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, a customer complained on this day 3 months ago that you were rude. And I was like, well, what happened? What'd I say? What'd they say? Who was it? You never
Right.
told me anything 3 months ago. You never brought it up 3 months ago. You want to bring it up
Yeah.
now? Really?
Yeah. They were
You
supposed to
can't.
correct it back then. They weren't
That's
supposed
not.
to wait 3 months and then
Yeah,
put it in an
that's not.
I.
Yeah, so they did a lot of that. I said,
Yeah, a lot of dirty stuff. Yeah.
and I said, look, if somebody complains about me again, you need to make me aware of it within a day or two
Mm-hmm.
and let me know what happened, what they said, so that I can respond, while
Yeah.
I remember.
Right.
Because I don't remember being rude to anybody. And I don't believe I was rude. And I believe, uh, here's what I really believe was going on.
Okay.
I really believe a couple of my coworkers, and this does sound unbelievable. And it even to me, it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah. It's
But
not stuff
I
you
believe
normally
they were
hear with
sending
y'all.
people in, friends of theirs, to
Mm-hmm.
uh, to harass me and confront me and be very rude to me, and then complain about me to the postmaster. I believe that went on 6 or 8 times because the customers were saying things that were, to me, blown up and made up and blown out of proportion, and just like somebody, it very much felt like they were being sent in and they were friends of some of my coworkers, and they were trying to get me fired. They were helping their friends that worked there, try to get me fired because they didn't want me there. So the list they gave me for the reasons they fired me
Right.
Mm-hmm.
were so trivial. And
Where was the union at this
uh,
point?
well, they were there, but
Okay.
they well, I mean,
So,
basically they decided that them and me decided that it would be an EEO complaint, and you couldn't do both. You can't do a grievance and an EEO complaint. So I said, no, this is just retaliation because I filed EEO complaints.
Right.
And so, you know,
Right.
we agreed that I should file an EEO rather than a grievance. So I went the EEO route.
Right.
So from there, it went to the EEO process, which I was on my own for that for the most part. I did get some consultations
Hmm.
as I went and things like that, and learned as I went. But so yeah, they had a little list that why they were firing me, and you know the main reason, official reason that they put on my file was failure to follow instructions, and I'm like, okay, well, because I turned the air conditioner down, really. So,
Yeah, they
but
were
that's
being
why they,
really petty.
Asses.
They
yeah,
were being petty,
So
and they were trying to harass you every way possible
yeah, to
uh,
and
push you
being
out, to
bullies.
push.
uh,
They wanted to
fail,
push you
and they
out.
would, and they would go back 6 months. Well, on this day, so a customer complaint. Let me see the complaint. Six
Yeah.
months ago, somebody said I was rude. Let me see the complaint. You never showed it
Hmm.
to me. This, why hasn't it been brought up before? It has not. I didn't know there was a problem with that. You never told me. Well, it
Right.
doesn't matter. We're telling you now. So,
No, it doesn't work like that. I'm
so
sorry.
no. So that's
Now,
none of that was
now it's
right.
just hearsay. At
From
this
Yes.
6
point,
months
6 months
ago?
ago, it's
Yeah.
hearsay.
So none
Hearsay.
of it was right. And then,
You,
you know, 2 months ago, somebody complained about you being rude. Well, and then somebody hit, I don't know, 4 months ago had complained that I had a ugly jacket or something. Uh,
What?
I used to wear a parka all the time, and
Right.
well, she had an ugly jacket on, and she just didn't look good, and she didn't smile, and she didn't look like she wanted to be there, and I'm just like, well, that's not a firing offense,
no, that's not.
No.
None of you look like you want to be here. So
What you wear is no one's
It's
concern.
nobody's
As long as
concern.
it's appropriate and professional.
As long
yeah,
as it's the uniform, that's
and
Yes.
it. It
and
sounds like they didn't.
that's how stupid it was,
Yeah.
day after day, and she walked away for, oh, and I remember now some of the complaints were she walked away for something, and I believe it was my break time, and I walked away from my break time, and one of the complaints they had actually taken was she walked away from her window and didn't come back. Well, it was my break time. This is the kind
Right.
of things they were saying, and they were saying, well, you know a customer complained that uh, you wouldn't take her credit card. And I said, well, her credit card wasn't her credit card. The credit card she wanted to use was not her name. It wasn't her credit card. No, we
That's
can't use a
federal
credit
offense.
card
You're not
that's
supposed to use
somebody
that.
else's credit card.
That's right. That's BSA right
And it
there. That's a
obviously,
violation of BSA
well,
policy.
she'd always used it there before. Yeah,
So what?
because yeah. So, but everybody else would take that credit card. And I said, that's not you on the credit card. That's not your name. That's not you. I can't take it. And
Yeah, that's it.
they accepted that as a complaint. So, and then another one was that somebody wanted some copies of something,
Hmm.
and we weren't allowed to make copies for customers. And I said,
Hmm.
Sorry, we're not allowed to make copies for customers.
Right.
Well, he did it, the guy next to me. Well, he did it. He always does it. And so uh, he came up, took the papers, and went and made copies, but we weren't supposed to. They were telling us don't make copies for customers. So I was following the rules. He wasn't. They filed a complaint on me that I didn't accommodate them. And I said, well, we're not supposed to. And so, but they were listed that as a complaint for firing me. And I think another one was uh, I'm not sure exactly, but things along those lines, which were not even justified complaint, and they never showed me the complaints. They never talked to me about any of them. And I said, "Well, you can't, you can't just sit there and list things for stupid little things for 6 months and then fire me without ever addressing those to me." But that's how they fired me. So, and they called it failure to follow instructions. So then they fired me. And so, of course,
That's
then
just
I
criminal, Kim. That's just
filed an
criminal that they got away with
EEO
that, and that they fired you over such
because
nonsense.
grievances, EEO complaints over the time. So I won all of them except for the one where I was being fired. I
Right.
did not win that one.
Won all the grievances but that one. Gotcha.
I could not have. Okay, I'm still in. Okay, so I could not afford an attorney. Uh, so I represented myself.
Uh-oh.
No.
Asked them.
Uh-oh. Okay,
I
there you go.
Okay, you
I'd,
back.
I'd tell them, hey, I'd tell them this is what happened. What should I do? And they would tell
Right.
me what to do, and I would go do it. But I did all the
Right.
work myself.
Right.
And so anyway, so I of course spiraled into my depression and PTSD and running off to casino for escape, charging up my credit cards, took money out of my TSP retirement savings account to live on. I did get another job down the road, but it paid so little that it didn't cover living expenses or anything like that. Had a car, had a nice car, had a nice house, and had a nice little bit of money in the TSP, and was paying into the FERS retirement and that. So they um, so I lasted for a couple months without a paycheck, and then couldn't couldn't afford the car payment,
Yeah.
couldn't afford, lost my health insurance, couldn't
Yep.
couldn't afford my mortgage, and basically couldn't afford anything except put gas in my car and food,
Right.
and couldn't afford anything else. So I um, was trying to figure things out, how to get through things. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and rent my house out. It's a small house. I'm going to go ahead and rent that out. I'm going to go rent a room from somebody so I'll live cheaper
Right.
and keep my house that way, for the
Right.
foreseeable future till I can get things back going again.
Right.
And I really thought, so keep in mind, I thought from the beginning that I would win my complaint because it was
Right.
black and white. It was there was documentation, there was witnesses, I had people speaking up for me.
Right.
There was proof of what had gone on over the years. I had no doubt that I was going to win my complaint. I'd have to uh, suffer through a year, and then I would be reinstated with the back pay, and I'd be okay, and I
Right.
would get everything back that I had lost. And so keep in mind that the whole time that kept me going. Well, I'm going to win. I'm going to win this. You guys are wrong. You did
Yeah.
that wrong and that wrong and that wrong and that wrong, and everybody knows it. It's documented,
Yeah.
so I'm going to win. I've been to the doctors, I've been to investigations and everything, and followed, did all the steps. Did I was confident that I would win
That you would
my
win.
complaint,
That you
and
would
that
win.
that kept me going.
Right.
Right. Understood.
And so, and it was hard. I mean, it was hard. I was crying. I was down. I was uh, staying to myself. I no longer was social, no longer really spoke to people, just kind of became isolated and struggled and rented my house out. And then a month later, the bank was foreclosing. So I had to tell the people they needed to leave because the bank was foreclosing, even though I told the bank I had figured it out and I would have the payments next month. I would be able to resume payments next month because I'd missed several payments. And they foreclosed it anyway. So that's when I lost my house. Um, I was working a job for probably $7 an hour or something like that. Wasn't getting nowhere on that. And my dad was still really bad, in really bad health. And so I had that was very depressing and sad. And so I was not happy at all. I started doing I was drinking and started running up my credit cards, going to the casino more, drinking, running up my credit cards, taking little trips on credit. So I ran up my credit cards, and I figured, well, I'm going to go bankrupt soon, so I'm going to use my credit cards, and then I'll go bankrupt. And that's how I survived for months. And I didn't I didn't start doing drugs, but I went to Mexico by myself. I just I was just escaping any way I could because
Hmm.
things were so bad, and I was in such bad shape myself. And
Right.
so it was just a horrible time, and
Right.
for years. And I didn't smile. I still wasn't smiling, so I didn't
Right.
enjoy anything. I was just uh, really, I was just fighting suicide for probably a couple years, and people kind of started staying away from me because I was in
Right.
such a bad shape, I guess, in such a bad
Right.
place, and didn't have any money, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to support me or bring me in, or
Yep. Yeah, it's what
my
they
own
do.
fault that my fault that I
Yep.
got fired. We
Hmm.
don't understand how
Yep.
you got fired. We don't
Yep.
understand. Uh, why didn't you just shut up? Why did you have to complain about your job and things like that, and about your supervisor? Why didn't you just shut up?
And that's the problem.
And you've done this to yourself. You brought this on yourself. So get yourself out of it. So I was on my own for the most part. And I did lose my mind. I didn't, probably for years, I wasn't dealing with things. I didn't really get another job for a while. And I tried, and I was up for several decent federal jobs because I still wanted to be a federal employee, because
Yeah.
I'd been a federal employee before the Postal Service. I had gone to college. I had been a federal employee. I had been a professional, but they had such a long hiring freeze that I couldn't get on permanent.
Yeah.
I couldn't really, there were jobs there, so that's why I went to the Postal Service.
Right.
So I wanted to stay with federal government. I didn't really care what agency I worked for at this point. I just wanted
Mhm.
to be employed again with a decent job.
Right.
I was up for several jobs within a year, federal
Mhm.
jobs that I could have lived on. Um,
Mhm.
they all but offered me a position several times, and then when they got the background check, they uh, withdrew their offer or didn't
Mhm.
follow through with hiring me. Didn't say why, but I knew it was the Postal Service was giving me bad references,
Right.
and that's why I wasn't able to get another decent job, and that went on for years. And so I had to work. Um, of course, I didn't have any credit at this time. Didn't have any savings, no nothing except for what I was bringing in.
Right.
Uh, my card had been repossessed. I had lost my house. I was living with somebody I had worked with at the Postal Service. She rented me a room. And
That was nice.
so I stayed there for quite some time for a little bit of nothing because she knew what had happened and what was going on. So she let me stay for a couple hundred a month with her. So that was a great thing. And that was all I could afford. And I I had to work at a cafeteria. I had to work at a hotel, convenience store. I
Hmm.
had to work for myself, cleaning houses and doing caregiving, whatever I could do. But they were only paying $6 or $7 an hour.
Oh,
Oh no.
not again.
So I was
There you
literally
are.
going to,
We lost you for a minute
oh,
there.
Yes.
I was going
Kim.
to the food pantries.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, did you? Okay, but I'm back now.
Yeah, you're back. Kim, when you get a chance, as you're
Okay.
sharing your story, do tell where more like what did you say you had enough and went forward to where you're at now in your life? Like what kept you going after all those incidences, even with you like seeing the light in the end of the tunnel? I mean, you had your friend who gave you a room which was nice, and then
Well,
from that point, like
what kept
where?
me
Yes,
going? What kept
yes,
me going was I was sure. Yeah, I was sure I was going to win my case. And I didn't think I needed a lawyer. I mean, it would have been nice, but I'm like,
right,
hey, I've done everything. I've given you everything. I've got all the proof. I've got all the witnesses. I've got,
right,
it's I'm going to win. It's a strong case. I'm going to win. It's hard. It's hard to do, but I managed to do it. That's what kept me going is, hey, in a year from now, they're going to owe me $500,000 because I was suing for other damages as well, plus back pay. And I'm going to get my job back. I'll be able to continue supporting myself and have a career and uh, because if you win your complaint, your TSP gets put back,
Hmm.
your
Yeah.
retirement gets put back, your health insurance everything gets, it's called making you whole. So you get your
right,
health insurance back like it never left. You got your TSP back like it never left. You got your first retirement back like it never left. So you
Right.
got your payback like it never left. Um, and that kept me going. I said, I'm going to prevail. I'm going to win my case and I'll be okay. But it's very hard waiting for that to happen.
Right.
So the case went on and on and on. and on for probably three years or so. And you went from this phase to that phase, and I kept up on it all the way through. I ended up homeless, sleeping out of my car. Uh, I got an old car eventually, and was having to kind of sleep out of that a lot of times. Um, Ended up moving back home with my in Arizona, and
You moved back with who? I'm
so my
sorry, we
mother
lost you.
died
Kim,
of
who did you
cancer.
move back with?
Oh, so yep, I moved back with my parents because my mother had died of cancer, and my father had a massive stroke, and
Mhm.
he needed 24-hour assistance. So I
Mhm.
moved back in with him and was helping out there with him and working at a
Right,
Circle K, and
right.
for about a year or so. And it was just a very hard 3 or 4 years. I couldn't even talk about my life. People would ask me how I was doing, and I would just start crying. I couldn't. I would start to talk, and then I would just start crying, and that went on for
Right.
years. And so very unhappy for a very long time, and was just dealing with a very grim future.
Mm-hmm.
And so then my EEO case had finally closed because it went so far. It went through the whole process, the whole federal process, internal process, and it got to the point where they sent it to a regular court,
Hmm.
federal court, whatever you call it, where you actually had to go to court
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
continue, to
EEOT.
continue your case.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was unable to, I didn't know the court process. I said, I
Right.
can't, I couldn't have, I needed an attorney. And I kind of, from the first steps of filing a complaint in court, and you had to have this paper and that paper and this and that, and I didn't even know what they were. I was a mess anyway, so I was a complete mess still, mentally and emotionally and financially and everything. Yeah, I was a ruined person, and so I couldn't. I said I can't act as my own lawyer. I don't have that experience. I can't handle the court system. I don't understand it. I don't know what they're asking for. So I basically kind of forfeited at that point. So my case was closed. My EEO case was closed after being open for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still living with my father in a small town in Arizona, working at a Circle K, going nowhere, of course. No money of any kind. My dad had bought me an old car because I didn't have any
Mm-hmm.
money, so I had an old car that I was driving around. Um, it was a small town. There wasn't a lot of employment opportunities anyway, and
Right.
Right.
so somebody like me that now had a bad reference and was just a mess in all the way around, was hard for me to get a job. So kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, and things were bad.
Yep.
And of course, I wasn't social or happy or anything like that. So kind of just stayed to myself. Um, my family got very distanced from me because they had seen me lose everything. And so then basically I was a loser, and they didn't understand how bad things were at the job, and they just couldn't understand why I got. All they knew was I got fired from the postal service, and I had a good job, and I had a house, and I was doing all right, and now I wasn't. And I tried to tell them how bad things were. Why didn't you just shut up? Why did you have to say something? Why couldn't you just put up with it? Because it was impossible. And so I just lost a lot of respect, and people just don't want to be around somebody that doesn't have money and lost, is a loser. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was looking at
Right.
me as a loser, which I was.
Right.
I had lost everything. So I was a loser. So had met a few people, met a guy, and he worked at the mine. We had a mine, a big mine that was a big employer. It was about 45 miles away, but a lot of people in our town worked there and commuted. Was a big employer, and made decent money, and was something that people could live off of. So it was one of our
Right.
town's main employers. So he worked
Right.
there as a laborer, and they had all kinds of different jobs there. They did employ a lot of people. So he said,
Right.
I'm on a labor crew. You can come up on my crew and work as a laborer. I'm sure, I'll tell my supervisor to hire you. So I said, all right. So that was paying about $10 an hour back then, and
Right.
was I was only making about $6 an hour at the Circle K. So it was a little step up. They also had mine
Right.
housing that I could stay in for cheap, so that I would have a place to stay, if so I wouldn't have to commute every day. It was about a 45-mile commute. So I thought, well, okay, that's a step up, and so went up to the mine and applied and everything. They were going to hire me. Went through the HR process and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they were they were to the point of, yeah, we'll probably have you start in about a week, maybe 2 weeks. We're going to do a background check, and then we'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
start date. But they'd already offered me the job and everything. We were just waiting for the background check, and then they were going
Right.
to give me a start date.
Right.
So I was looking forward to that. It wasn't a great job, but it was something you could make a living on,
Yeah.
basically just scrape by.
Right.
And so was a little step up for me. And then they had benefits and things like that. So it was, you
That
know,
helps.
it was a step up for me. So after a few days, I don't know, 5 or 6 days, I get a letter in the mail, and it's from the mine, human resources. And they said, the letter said, well, um, we're going to have to, uh, what's the word?
Rescind.
Rescind. Yeah, we're going to have to rescind the job offer that we gave you recently due
Mm-hmm.
to information that's in your background report. And as I understand it, which no one had done before, but as I came to understand it, if you're up for a job and then they don't hire you because of something in your background report, they are supposed to send you a copy of the background report. They are supposed
Correct.
to, but nobody
That
had
is
Yes.
that
before.
is correct. Yes.
Right.
Nobody
Yep.
had before. And I knew that's why I wasn't getting jobs, but they never had sent me a copy of that. So the mine did. The mine said, hey, we're going to have to rescind our offer. We're no longer going to hire you as a result of something that's in your background report. And here's your background report. So, okay. So I said, well, it's the Postal Service. I know they're giving me a bad reference. So I read the background report, and I was uh, deflated and discouraged and mad and upset, of course, because now I'm not going to work at the mine. or anywhere else, really. And so I read the background report and I said, yep, there it is. They talked to my abusive supervisor from the Postal Service, whose name was Dan. So they had talked to Dan. His name was right there on the report. And I said, great, this is just great. And so got instantly depressed and major depressed again. So, so the background check was saying things like they did the basic questions. As I remember, there was 8 or 10 questions, and none of them were good answers.
Yeah.
No, she was not. Um, was her attendance acceptable? Nope, she had horrible attendance, which was family medical leave, so he wasn't supposed to say that.
Yep.
Um, was was would you hire her again? Nope, would not hire her again. Was her work acceptable? Nope. So things like that. So bad, bad, bad. Nope, 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 nope. She's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Did she get along with others? Nope, did not. And then at the
They lied
bottom
about
of all
everything.
that, there was a space to write comments. Yeah. So at the bottom of all that, there was a place that said, um, would you like to add any additional comments? And he did. I'm sorry, but that's how stupid he was. So he did add additional comments. And the comments he added, and this is uh, not quite word for word, but fairly close to what exactly was
Mm-hmm.
said. Uh,
Right.
he said, uh, uh, it's very hard to get fired from the Postal Service, and we worked very hard to fire Kim.
Wow.
And it took a while. And the reason we fired her was she filed complaints against management and she filed a workers' compensation claim, and her attendance was terrible, which was family medical leave. So, and that was about it. But for anybody that doesn't know, each one of those is illegal. So,
Yeah,
Yes.
uh,
Highly illegal.
it
so
is. And
he
he admitted to it too.
So he, on the record, admitted that they fired me for 3 illegal
Yes.
reasons.
Yes.
And I thought, I'm going to take this to court. I'm going to see if I can reopen my case. I have a confession. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's illegal to fire somebody for filing complaints against management. So I had that. It's illegal to fire somebody for filing a workers' comp claim. So I had that. And it's illegal to fire somebody for taking family medical leave, which, as he was just referring to it as horrible attendance, but it was under family medical leave. So it's illegal to fire somebody for taking family medical leave. So 1, 2, 3, all illegal. I said, how could this possibly be ignored? How can I now I can uh, be reinstated? I've got a confession. How often do you get that? That's probably the
Nope.
first in history. You don't get these, but I have it, and it's gold. Went back to Phoenix, which was about 4 hours from where I lived. Went to the attorney that I had dealt with, which I didn't like because he was never aggressive. I didn't like him, but I took it back to him. I said, "Look, I have a confession. Can we reopen my EEO complaint based on new evidence? I have a confession. This will win the case."
Mm-hmm.
No, can't. We can't reopen it. It's closed. We can't reopen it based on new evidence. And I was
Then you
like,
file another one.
Exactly.
Then you file another one.
Well, I asked about that, and the one attorney didn't want to. He was tired of dealing with the federal government because they took so long to. People don't want to. Attorneys don't want to represent federal employees because the cases drag out so long.
They drag
So
out forever. Yeah, I
forever.
know.
So they don't want to
Yeah.
take it. So he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to do anything. So I went to another attorney that I had not spoken to before, and he was a little further out. Uh, Met up with him. He was a younger guy. He was more aggressive. I had not met with him before. I gave him the rundown.
Mm-hmm.
I got a copy of a confession. This proof, un, un, undeniable proof that they fired me illegally. Can I reopen my case based on new
Right.
evidence, and I'll win at this point?
Right.
He agreed. He agreed to. He said, no, your case is closed. It can't be reopened, but we can file a new one, like
Right.
like you
Right.
said.
Right.
So I said, well,
File a new
I don't
case,
have any
yeah.
money. I said, I don't have any money for an attorney. What can we do with it? And I don't remember exactly how he put it, but he said, well, I'll do it on contingency. And he was very mad. I liked him. He was more aggressive. He was ready to take on
Chop their heads
whatever he
off for you.
could. He was ready to support me, and he did it on contingency. And he just came out and said, I wish you would have talked to me when all this was going on, before it was
You
closed.
would
And
have
I
had
said,
their
well, I
asses.
do too. I said it was so hard to find somebody to represent me. I couldn't find anybody that would represent me on contingency. And I believe this guy would have, but I didn't find him in time. Would have made a world of difference. But
Yeah.
so I liked him. So he said, well, what I can do is I can file something against the mine because they shouldn't have taken this evidence as
Right.
grounds to not hire you because it's
That's
illegal.
correct.
And I said, well, I don't really have anything against the mine. I said, but I do
Mhm.
have something against the Postal Service. So
That's
he goes,
right.
well, I can send a letter to the Postal Service because they shouldn't have given this information out in the background check. So they were wrong to give that information out. So we can file a complaint that on that. I said okay, and so he did. He wrote he wrote one letter to the post office and said, "Man, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm representing Kim Jordan. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're going to ask for this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys, you don't do that. You can't do this. It's illegal." So, Postal Service, I pretty sure were pretty aghast at that and couldn't believe what they were seeing. So, we did a small settlement on that. Probably, I think I remember about maybe $35,000 on that, which was nothing, not even a year's salary. So, of course, the attorney got about half of that, and I
Right.
got a little bit. And I
So
did
did they take all
not,
that stuff off your record now, Kim?
back then, I did my own taxes. But back then, I didn't as income
Yeah,
because I
it's in,
thought, well, that's what they owed me. It's a court settlement. It's not income. Why would it go
nope.
on income taxes? So I didn't put it down. I just didn't think it was something we had to claim.
Yeah, you
So
do.
the IRS comes back about 5 years later and says, "Hey, we did an audit. You didn't put $35,000 down when you got it on that year, and 5 years ago." and I said, "Well, I didn't think I had to. It was a court, or it was a court settlement. Why would I put that on taxes? Why would they tax that?" "Oh, well, we do. We count it as income, and you didn't claim it as income, and um, so now you owe us, $3,000, whatever it was, in taxes." I said, "Look," I said, "I didn't even get all that." I said, "My attorney got about half of it, and I got about half of it. So why don't you? How you gonna tax me for the whole thing? I didn't get the whole thing." So anyway, and what became of that was I couldn't pay him, and so I said, "I can't pay you." I said, "I have no money." I think I was making, I don't know, 200 a week or something back then. I don't know. It was terrible. I said, "I have no
Mhm.
money." And so what they did was I did a thing where I signed up where with the IRS where I couldn't pay. I forget what you call it,
Mhm.
but if you can't pay, you sign up for this thing that is uncollectible. And so I signed up for that. So which I couldn't pay them. But what they did was they held every refund I got for the next about 20 years. So I
Mhm.
never got a refund. And it all went to pay off that uh, tax that I owed. Took them about 20 years, and they finally came back and said, "Well, okay, you're paid off now." And I finally got a couple refunds, and it was really nice. And then something happened, and I don't get any more tax refunds. I don't remember what happened, but and I do tax refunds. I can't remember why now. So that didn't last long. But so these are the repercussions that I couldn't recover from. I
Right.
never got another house. I had an old vehicle to drive instead of a nice new one. I had to drive other people's cars a lot. Um, no savings, no retirement, no benefits. Basically, hand to mouth existence, I think is what they call it. Just enough to
Mhm.
buy you a little food. Uh, had nothing, couldn't buy anything, couldn't go out, couldn't take vacations, nothing enjoyable. And so that's pretty much how it's been. I did get back with the federal government, but it took years. So I lost years and years. And then I recently did so it's still affecting me today at 63 years old because now I'm looking at retirement and did a couple of retirement estimates. Made them. I was working for the federal government. I did go back to work for the federal government and saw more fraud and abuse. I went with Department of Veterans Affairs. I finally had to file some complaints on them. Got a settlement. They had a class action grievance and lawsuit. I was in on that. Got a settlement from that. Wasn't near what I should have got. They fired me wrongfully. I got back on my own terms. No help from them. Um, but wasn't able to move up. State entry level GS5 for GS5, GS6. I think I made it up to a GS8, and then they fired me wrongfully. And so it was just a bad thing. And so I'll still stand up if I see something wrong. I'll still say something, and I'll still file a complaint, and I still
Right.
will to this day. Um,
Kim, not to interrupt you, Kim, but where are you now? Are you still in federal? Like if you don't mind sharing,
No,
where is that? What are you currently
no.
in
So
2026? Where are you now in your life?
so uh so I was in the Denver, Colorado area for about eight
Right.
years. I
Right.
basically I got priced out because I was a GS. Well, I was a 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I was a 5. Um, I was a GS 8 when they fired me wrongfully. I fought that. Um, and so took years to get that. My case, I filed a private complaint on them, private EEO. I finally got an attorney to help me with that,
Mm-hmm.
and that didn't charge much money. Very good attorney, didn't charge much money, and I was lucky. And I said, okay, I have an attorney, so that was good. But it took years and years, and it wouldn't settle, and it was going to take more years, and they were so bogged down, and nobody could get their cases settled, so wasn't going anywhere on that. And but my attorney helped me, and there was my case, my private complaint, which was ongoing, and there was a big class action lawsuit on the VA for things that my complaint addressed. So I fight
Right.
for the class action settlement,
Right.
which
Right.
taken them
Understood.
a year to the settlement for this class action thing. So my attorney went over all that with me, and
Right.
so talking with her, the best best thing to do was probably take the class action settlement because that was already a done deal. So
Mm-hmm.
I did. I went with that. I had to drop my private complaint. They wouldn't let us do both. So I had to drop my private complaint, which was worth more. I went with the settlement, which I got $126,000, which wasn't near enough. Let's see. So, um, and part of that settlement was I could no longer work for the VA. So the VA does have jobs. They're a bad agency, in my opinion, to work for,
Mm-hmm.
but they do have jobs. And so that job market got taken away from me.
Right.
Seems unfair, you know. You get fired, you win, and then they say, but you can't work for us anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So I lost that job market, which was, I'd been there in different jobs, and that's where my experience was. So that was a big hurt. So
Right.
then I took a seasonal job with the Park Service, and I thought I'm going to take a seasonal job till I can figure things out. So I moved up to Montana because I couldn't afford Denver anymore. I got basically just priced out of Denver. The housing was so high. So I said, well, without a good job, I can't, there's no way, I don't want to live here anymore. Can't afford anything. So I went up to Montana, took a seasonal job with the Park Service.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make much. Part of my reason for taking a seasonal job was, number one, it was with the Park Service. It was a job I had been wanting to do for a long time. And I said, I'm going to go do
Right.
what I want to do instead of these other things. So I
Right.
was happy to get it, happy to do it, enjoyed the job. With a seasonal job, you're supposed to return each season without having to apply or compete with anybody. You're supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
rehired each season. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason I took it and went up there. And I said, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out from here until I get another permanent job, if ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I went up there. Then I got Then, so this was what, a year ago, January of last year, when Trump came on,
Mm,
destroyed the whole federal government, um, did a lot of terrible things, destroyed the federal government, fired everybody illegally, forced a lot of people into early retirement because of the bad things that were going on, intimidated people into leaving, fired anybody he didn't like, changed the rules, made it at will employment, got rid of the unions, horrible
mm-hmm.
things, horrible thing. We the job the job applications now, when you
Mm-hmm.
apply for a federal position on USA, job application itself, it has 4 essay questions that are political questions. What are you going to do
Right.
to support this our political party? What are you going to do to support Trump's administration? What are you going to do to write an essay? What are you going to do to your best to make the government more efficient? And there was another one, how are you going to support this administration in your job? And I'm like, uh, to me, in my mind, this is all illegal. We can't do political stuff on an application. We can't do political stuff at work. And he's doing that. He's firing people that don't agree with his policies and things like that. Say anything
Right.
against him, they get fired. All illegal. Excuse me. So I had a problem with that,
Mm-hmm.
and that affected my depression and PTSD. I said I can't work like this. Wanted us to send an email to him every week about what we did that week. I'm like, you wouldn't even understand it because you don't know any of these jobs. You wouldn't understand what we did. So it's nonsense. Excuse me. And so I had a hard time dealing with that. There was a lot going on. Had a hard time dealing with it. Got depressed. Got my PTS back up. Back up. So I had gotten permanent offer back in the Denver area
Mm-hmm.
right at that same time, right? So I said, well, I think I'll take this permanent job. So I was all set to move back to Colorado for this job, and wasn't a great job, but it was better than what I had. And that was when when every time you take a new job, even though you've been with them for 30 years, you take a new job with a different agency or same agency or anything, you're considered a new employee. Your time comes with you, your time and your benefits come with you, but you are considered a new employee. You're put back on probation, um, and so you lose your seniority that way. So he was firing everybody that was on probation, because when you're on probation, you don't have any rights to fight your termination. They can fire you for anything, and you can't fight it. You don't have any rights. All that was going on at the same time. So I thought, if I take that job in Colorado, move back, can't afford the apartment anyway because it's too high, spend $5,000 to move down there, start working, and I'm going to be the newest person. I'm going to be on probation, and he's probably going to come back and fire me because I'm the new one on probation. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I was afraid of that. So I was afraid to take the job. And I said, I asked him, I said, what are the chances I'm going to come down there and then get fired because I'm on probation? And they didn't know. They said, well, we can't say. We don't know. I said, well, I'm going to have to not take it because I'm afraid I would go down there and get an apartment, get started in the job, get fired, and be homeless, because without that job, I'm not going to pay $1,500 a month for rent on any other job. So I would be
Yep.
homeless. So I said, I can't take that risk. I can't come to Colorado.
Excuse me.
So that was the first job I turned down out of fear, you know, fear to work for my employer, which was
Hmm.
terrible, terrible feeling. And a lot of people have that feeling now.
Yeah.
There's no security now with the federal government.
No.
So I
No. Not
turned the
anymore.
job down, and I thought, so I turned that job down out of fear that I would lose it unjustly. And so I said, well, I'll just go back to work for this the seasonal job I did last year. I'll go do that again. You know, that wasn't a bad job at all. I liked it. So I had planned on going back to that. Well, I didn't get an offer. Didn't get an offer. So I finally emailed the new chief of interpretation. That was
Hmm.
the hiring official. She was new. She had just gotten there as I was leaving the year before, so I barely knew her. So I emailed her. I said, "Hey, you know, what am I going to be hired back on, and when would I start? You know, because it was getting time to start." And she emailed me back and said, "Well, I decided to do away with that job because it was a 50-50 split job. I did one job half the time, I did another job the other half of the time, and she didn't like how that was done. So she didn't redo the job. She didn't fly the job again. So I wasn't re I didn't automatically go back to that job. The job was gone. So I didn't have that. So I lost that. So I'm like, now what? So I got another job in Arkansas. So I moved from Montana to Arkansas. It cost me a fortune. And this is all leading up to what you asked. I'm sorry it's taken so long. So
Oh,
that's why I
it's
came
okay.
to Arkansas. So I got a good job I wanted with the Park Service, park guide. And I said, you know what? I'd like to do that before I retire. That's something I've been interested in for a long time. I haven't done
Right.
it. I enjoyed my job that I did last summer with it.
Hmm.
And Arkansas is cheaper than Colorado or Montana. So
Yeah.
maybe I can not be homeless. And while I'm doing that job, I can look for other jobs. Maybe I can stay afloat. So I took the job, came down to Arkansas, liked the job, was doing good. Um, Worked with about 4 or 5 people,
Hmm.
small little um national memorial, and had didn't see things the way some of the other people saw things. So we were kind of on different levels a little bit,
Right.
did things a little differently. Not a big deal. One lady that I worked with just didn't want to work with me, and we just
Hmm.
didn't hit it off. And we ended up having words one day because I asked her to help me do something, and she just said no. And so that
Hmm.
set off my PTSD. With PTSD to overreact if you have high stress. So I overreacted and raised my voice at her, pissy mood, and acting like a little pissant, which she was too. And she kept getting up in my face, and so anyway, so it was a Sunday. The supervisors were off. She said, "Well, I'm gonna go call our supervisor. You know her name." I said,
Hmm.
well, I can just go call Sheila. I said, well, go ahead. So she went and called our supervisor, who then came in. The supervisor came in. Also, the superintendent came in because the little girl had called him and said that I was um, scaring her, and I had flown off the handle, and she was scared of me. So they came in and they said, uh, they just sent me home. They said they didn't talk to me. They just said, you so and so said she's afraid of you. There's a situation here. We have to de escalate it. So we're going to send you home on admin leave. So I said, okay. I thought, well, it'll blow over. You're kind of overreacting, sending me home, because I wasn't mad at that point. I was only mad for about 10 minutes and it blew over, and I'm like, I won't talk to her again. She doesn't want to work. I'll do it myself. I had already sorted it out in my mind. I can do
Right.
it all myself. I don't need her, won't ask her to help me. So, but they sent me home and they fired me, and without even talking to me about it, not asking me what happened. And it was PTSD that, sometimes it comes up when I'm under high stress. And I apologized and everything. I said, look, I have PTSD. I was under high stress and I overreacted, and I apologized and won't happen again, because now I knew what that little girl was like, and I just stay away from her. I'll do everything myself. It's not hard. We'll do it that way. And but they fired me instead, and saying that uh, I don't know, I just didn't work out or something, bad conduct, whatever they said. So they fired me. So I lost that seasonal job,
Right.
which put me in a bind because then I didn't get unemployment. Now, you see, these are all the domino effect from losing your
Yeah.
postal service job. This is all
Yeah.
related back to that. That's where it started.
Yeah.
And it still affects me today. So I didn't qualify for employment. This, season was half over. I couldn't get another job right away. So, so now I'm just working another menial job, not making it, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I have a couple prospects to get back with the federal government, which is probably going to mean another move, which I can't afford. So now it's coming down to, I don't know, my retirement. I checked into retirement. It's only going to be like $500 a month. I said, what? Why? I feel like you made an error. Why is it only $500 a month? I want to retire. That's going to get me
Yeah.
nowhere. And so then they came back and told me, well, when you left the Postal Service, they refunded you for the first retirement that you had paid into them. And I said, really? I said, I don't even remember that. And they said, well, yeah, they offered you, do you want a refund of your first retirement, which was probably a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm sure I would have said yes if they were offering me a check, because I had nothing back then. And so they said, yeah, you accepted it. And so basically, you were refunded what you put into it, so you don't get it now. So you're not getting your 8 years at the Postal Service for retirement. And I didn't know that. And I'm like, why is this the first I've heard of this? I could have prepared better, because I can buy that time back,
Yeah.
but I can't afford it. $8,000 now they want for me to buy that time back. And I said, I don't have $8,000. I said, I would have had it a couple of years ago if I'd known about it. I could have bought it
Yeah.
back years ago, but now I don't have it. And so my TSP is wiped out. I lost all that Postal Service time for my retirement. So now my retirement's like $500 a month, which means I just can't retire. And so that's all depressed. So that is contributing to the PTSD and depression. Now they not only ruined the last 20 years of my life, but they've ruined the next 20 years into retirement, because they ruined my retirement. And
They did.
They did.
all of it was just. And so, now I'm trying to figure out what to do, because I am at retirement age, but I can't afford to retire. And I'm like, I don't know how long I can keep working, but I'm going to have to try. So now at this point now, I'm just trying to uh, get a decent job, and things are bad, and I'm not really making it. Probably every month I'm looking at getting evicted because I can't pay my bills. Um, I've had to borrow a lot of money to pay the rent and pay the utilities. So I've had to borrow. I had to live on my credit cards. So now I don't have any credit once again. I can't afford to go bankrupt. I'm making about $10 an hour at a factory job, which I just my back. I couldn't do the job so now I've got to find another job. They don't pay. You can't make it on that.
No, no,
So
you can't.
trying to figure it
That,
out now, and I just know I can't. So it's hard. I I'll I'm gonna try to go back to work with the government, because if I go back with the federal government, I can make about $25 an hour, which isn't much,
yeah,
but it's a lot better than the other options. And
right.
so, and plus, I'll have a few benefits. So I'm trying to get back on. I have a couple prospects, but again, I would probably have to move, and I can't afford to move. So I've got to figure out what to do at this point. And uh, future is unknown. Uh, I don't know what to do. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm not ready to retire, but I feel like the Trump administration forces me to retire because they've taken away so many jobs from me, so many jobs from other people. They're
Mm,
firing all the new people, bringing
right.
in new one,
Yeah,
and we're there's possibly going to be more rifts. And if you're the new one, you get rift. And so it's all scary. And
Yeah, it
I'm not
is.
sure. I had, I had to take Social Security because get about $1,400 a month in Social Security started a couple months ago. A friend suggested I apply for Social Security because I had no income, I had no money, and I was going to be homeless.
right.
So I didn't want to apply for Social Security, but I had to because I had no income. So I did apply and I got it. It's only 1,400 a month. Doesn't cover the basic bills, and it's very depressing. So I'm trying to make things work, but no stability. So, and uh, I didn't want to, but I thought, let me look at the GoFundMe stuff. Maybe I can raise enough money to pay the rent. Maybe I can raise $8,000 to do my buyback time. So that would double my retirement to about 1,000 a month. And I said maybe I could make that work. I also found out that you can go back. You can retire from the federal government. You can go back to work for them as a annuitant. I think they called it. So I said, how does that work? And they said, well, if you retire from the federal government, then you go back to work for them. Um, you'll still get your retirement money every month,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll reduce your hourly pay. They'll reduce that to make up for what you're getting in retirement. So you'll make
Yeah,
less per hour.
they offset
So
you.
I
Yeah,
said, well, yeah, maybe that's an option. So I'm trying to feel that kind of thing out. And but if anyone's interested, I started a GoFundMe to try to help me get through this time. It's called Hoping to Preserve My Life on GoFundMe. My main goal is to raise $8,000 so I can buy back my retirement time so that I can then retire. And then if I go back to work with the federal government, I would just make less per hour. So that's kind of what I'm looking at now. But I have no way to come up with $8,000 short of asking for help. So I'm hoping Postal Service workers will come together and support me because I did stand up to abusive management. They were doing a lot of things which only cost me. I have one, and hoping that I'll get some support from postal workers who understand this and how
Yeah.
challenging it is to the appeal process or the grievance. And so I am asking for support to because I'm not ready for this kind of challenge. I'm not. Yes, I have had to borrow $4,000 just to make it the past few months, and it's just been incredibly hard. I don't have support from anyone, for friends. I won't say I have no support, but I have very little support, not enough to save me. So I'm really trying not to be homeless. So if there's any postal workers that want to help me out to get me through this year, you can see my GoFundMe page, Kim Jordan, hoping to preserve my life. And
Yes, I put it in
any
the
help is
chat.
greatly appreciated. And I hope, yeah, and I hope that I don't know how to fix this postal service mess that's been going on for my lifetime. And but I hope people will stand up, and I hope if somebody stands up, that people will back them up because it's a hard fight, and you will
It is.
lose everything. Um, so pick your fights. I'm all for standing up. If you know something's wrong, now if you just suspect it, I probably wouldn't fight. But if you know for a fact that they're doing something wrong, I I would stand up again. I would go through everything again because I cannot work for an abusive employer. I can't. And I don't know how
Right.
people do it, but I can't do it. It's not in me. so,
Same
so
reason
thank
why
you
we all did.
for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you for letting me share my story.
Of
Anyone can
course.
contact me. I'd be glad to talk to anyone about any problems they might be having. I did learn a ton of information with what I've been through. I know the labor laws, I know the union laws, I know the policies, I know what avenues to take. I can give you advice, and I will give you advice. Uh, I'd be happy to listen. I know it helps to talk if you're having problems. Feel free to contact me and we can talk anytime you like. I will share what I know because I did learn a lot through the years, and I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm uh, I'm not afraid of managers. I will stand up to them. I will say what I believe is right, and I have lost several jobs because of that, and I'll keep doing it. So, again, I'm glad to be on the Postal Truth. I'm glad that the Postal Truth is here for us. Um,
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
And
a
Kim,
great
Uh,
just
program.
know that
Use it,
even
share
though,
it, and thank you for having me. It's been great,
of course,
and
yeah.
let's keep in touch. Let's keep it. I'll be
yeah,
watching. I'll be watching,
Kim,
and
it's
let's
a
keep in touch.
pleasure.
I'm
It's a pleasure
someone
to have you,
anyone can
Kim.
call, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And we will
So
keep in
let me.
touch
I'm
with
gonna
you,
go ahead and
Kim.
put that in the chat.
Can she hear me?
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm glad.
wrote.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
write
put
it
it
in
in the
your.
chat, but it's not typing.
Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me
I don't know if it's working.
uh I don't see anything here.
No.
Maybe.
But Kim, we're glad to have you. We will always keep in touch with you. I mean, unfortunately, that happened 20 years ago. Certain things changed and certain things did not. But one thing I will say, the channels like Angels, like and websites like Angels and channels like Lino and websites like Lino, there aren't enough people like that. There should be more
There's
because
a
I
few.
know 20 years ago they didn't have those. It
There's a
was, I
few.
mean, everything that you're telling me. There's a couple of podcasters, but
Yeah.
not enough.
Yeah, it's a
And there's
couple.
those podcasters. I condone them for
Right.
what they do, but I still think they should do more. Reach out and do more. I think if more
Right.
people
I
did
agree.
their, it would get even better because there are more programs now than there
Yeah.
were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So imagine, just
Right.
imagine if there was more people to talk, to fight, to grievance, to just help a person instead of staying quiet. Because quiet will not fix a thing. It will not do a damn
Right.
thing. So that's why I'm
And
saying, even though you said you would do it again, I believe you. Even
yeah,
though
and
he's going through his
even
thing, and
possibly
he's going,
a support group, like if uh,
yes,
even possibly support groups among
yes,
employees, so that
yes,
they can share experiences
absolutely.
and knowledge.
You guys deserve
Yeah.
that because at the end of the day, what happens if no one cares? If this doesn't get exposed, if these things aren't said, why should you
Right.
have to go away, Kim? Why
Right.
should Angel, Lino, or anybody else have to go away because what? You're telling the truth?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're telling the
Because
truth.
yeah, because
And
one manager can have so much power over your life. It's ridiculous.
it is
Um,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do recommend people watch the documentary, The Great Postal Heist. It's a
Yes,
Yes.
documentary about abusive management at the post office, people that have gone through different um, bad experiences with the postal service,
yes,
and how
Yeah.
pervasive it is,
yes,
and you'll see how long it's been going on since the 70s, and
Yeah.
yes.
still going on today, which is uh, hard to believe, but
It
it's
Yeah.
true.
is.
Hard to believe.
But in that documentary, you see
And I'm
people
I'm
that did
actually in
win.
that. I'm in that
Yeah. Oh,
documentary briefly.
oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Where did you come out at?
Oh, towards the end,
Oh, okay.
I did share my whole story, but it was too
I'm
long to
gonna watch
put
it again then,
in.
because
Yeah.
I don't remember you from the video, but now you having said that,
We're
I
gonna go
most
back and look.
definitely
Yeah.
gonna look. There, I
Uh,
love that
and
documentary,
it's
Kim.
a great
Yes,
documentary, and I'm
it's
in
a
there
good
towards the end,
documentary.
and I just kind of I'm only there for about 10 seconds, but I'm there.
That's okay. But I think
And
it's a great
it's a
documentary
great
because
great
about
great work. It was great
right.
work on that.
You hear about
People,
everyone's
I
story.
encourage postal employees to watch it, because it will show you how bad management is if you don't already
Yeah, I
know.
think everybody should watch it though, Kim. Not just
Yeah.
post employees, everybody, because you
Yeah.
don't
Uh,
understand unless you go through it or you are the spouse, family
Yeah,
member, friend of someone
right.
that's gone through it. That's the only way
Now
you'll know.
this
Like I
and
wouldn't know if I was an
this
angel's wife. I wouldn't know.
ex- exactly. And this documentary that the guy made, he made it because his father was
Yes.
a victim of postal harassment, and
Yes.
he almost lost everything, but luckily he
Yeah.
did win his grievance. But it took a
Right.
lot out of him. It was a very
Of
hard
course.
fight, and they also hired other people who that kind of thing as well. And
Yeah.
took them 10 years to make that. It's a very well done work, and I've watched it probably 4 times because it's a powerful
It is.
documentary.
Yeah. It is.
Um, the original title was The Postal, but they changed it to, I think, so it wouldn't be quite so intimidating. They changed
Right.
it to The
What was
Great
the
Postal
original
Heist,
title?
and it goes into some backgrounds and things like that. So it's very interesting to watch, and it shows the problems of the 70s. The Great Postal
Right.
Heist. The original title was going to be Gone Postal, but they
Oh,
changed it
Gone
to The
Oh.
Great
Postal.
Postal Heist.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, that was the original title. So yeah, so it's just such a good documentary. It's worth watching, definitely.
Right.
But thank you guys
Excuse me. Yeah.
again, and please, I'll be
Yeah.
watching you guys, and I'll be watching your shows, and I have this is kind of something I was hoping would come along for quite some time, was something on the internet to address the postal issues,
Yeah.
federal government as a whole issues, but
Right.
postal service, in my opinion, is the worst, and the worst you can imagine, and you
Yeah.
won't believe it unless you see it yourself. And we'll try to put a light on that. But unbelievable what happens there, and that management, like you've said many times, suffers no consequences when they
Yep.
when they
There's no consequences for what they're doing.
when they do
I
terrible
when
things
you
to
report the
employees
right
and
stuff.
ruin lives. Ruin lives.
Yeah.
Mine's not the only life
Yeah.
that's been ruined. There's been many, and some younger people, I think, recover a little better. But I mean, like I said, I was 35 or so when I got fired from the postal service, and I couldn't get another decent job because they were giving me bad reference. So it does. It's a domino effect, and it just keeps you down. And I've tried at this point in my life, I have to accept that I never recovered from it, because I have tried for 20 years to recover, get another house, um, get my retirement back to a decent retirement. I failed, couldn't do it. And so I'm facing that now in my old age. And it's not a pretty
It's not
picture for my
fair.
retirement. So uh,
Not fair.
be aware, take on a fight if you believe that needs to be taken on, if you can prove it, if you know for a fact something is wrong. Otherwise, don't do it because it's not worth it. But if you know for a fact that something's wrong, and especially if you can prove it, especially if you have a witness or a couple witnesses, uh, please bring it up. Please fight the fight. It's not easy. Please support people that are fighting a good fight. Not
Right.
all complaints are uh, so big and so important,
Right.
but the ones that are, where you know there's fraud, where you know there's abuse, where you know there's harassment, don't let it go on. Don't let it go on, and
Yeah.
not a place to work. Try to fix the
No.
problem, and that's my advice. And I hope people take it. And good luck to you, to anyone who's fighting a fight like this with abuse or harassment. Best
Yeah.
of luck. I'll talk to you anytime. I support you. And if I can help, I will. I will spread what information I have learned over the years. So
Right.
thank you all for listening. Thank you for putting on the Postal Truth, Jessica. Um, Great having you, and Angel.
You.
Great having you. And it's not an easy
Thank
thing
you.
to do.
Thank you.
We
No.
appreciate
So,
you. We need you. So please keep going. And I will be watching because now, when I get on the internet, I want to go see. I want to go see what Angel's up to. I want to go see what Angel's saying, and I want to know more about your story. I hope to know more about your story. I hope. I wish you the best. I hope. I personally hope that you'll call me and we can talk in depth because it's important. It's important to me, and I would love to hear. Don't think nobody cares. Some people care, and I'm one that cares. I would love to talk to you, either one of you, anytime, group chat, whatever. Let's keep in touch. Pleasure.
yeah,
Pleasure being
that's
on your
definitely.
program.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sign off, but you guys are great. And I will be tuning in. And I'm so glad that I found you.
Yeah.
And I encourage people to speak with you and share
Yeah.
their story. It's not easy. It's
No,
not
it's not.
easy, but it's important, I think.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and please don't think you're alone. You are not alone. There are so many people suffering from workplace abuse and harassment. Please don't fly off the handle and shoot somebody. Um, it's guns are drugs are everywhere. People on drugs with a gun. I know it's easy to. Well, even me with my PTSD, I will overreact when I'm highly stressed and when I'm irritated. I overreact, and I know people. I don't have a gun. I know people do have guns. I know people with PTSD have guns. Um, please don't use them. Please don't take your guns anywhere. Use them only for your home protection, and please don't let that get the best of you. And
Good advice.
hang in, everybody.
Good advice, Kim. Very good
Thank
Yeah.
advice.
you.
Thank
Yeah, and I tell you, I know now because I did lose my job. I did get fired because of my PTSD, which it wasn't even a bad. It wasn't that bad. It was not a firing offense. It wasn't that I wasn't violent. They just fired me because they could because I was a seasonal worker. I didn't have any rights. If I had been a permanent worker and had rights, I wouldn't have been fired. Of course, I would have
you.
Yeah.
fought
Right.
it, but as a seasonal, you have no rights. And so the easiest thing for them to do was fire me rather than work it out. But from that, I learned that I cannot be angered. I will walk away. If I start getting angered and frustrated, it's time for me to walk away. And that's what I'm going to do. I realize that I have a problem with overreacting, and I need to keep that. I have to bite my tongue a lot. So
Yeah.
others that have anger issues, please bite your tongue. Please understand that it's a problem, and please just walk away. That's the best thing to do for everybody.
Right.
So that's all I know, and so glad to be here. It's an honor.
Thank you, Kim. It was great having you.
That I will say good
Good
night, and
night.
we'll be in touch.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. We're gonna do our
Good night.
closeout, but it was great having you. Take care. Okay.
All right, all right.
Uh,
Bye
All
bye.
right. Hold on. We're still live. All
You're
right.
still on, Kim. Hold on.
1 second. We're going to do our closeout now. Okay, guys. So basically, this live session was a really
Oof.
rough one. I mean,
Yes.
the last two we had were with Kim were really strong. I
Yes.
mean, it reminds me of everything I went through with the organization and why it's important for more people to speak out. I mean, there was a lot of times I was cringing my teeth like why? And it's wrong.
It
It's
is.
not fair. It's illegal,
Yes.
and we need more.
Highly.
We need more
Highly.
oversight from these people.
It's
I
the
mean,
stuff that, and I'm sorry because
yeah.
I'm not trying to interrupt
No,
because
I got you.
your story is important.
Right.
Kim's, Lino's, and countless others that we have been told. I even work with some individuals that their family member went through stuff at the post office. Don't
Right.
work in the post office because of that, or dealing with the stuff now.
Right.
And it's just highly, highly offensive, highly, excuse me, highly criminal to think that these things are happening.
Right.
They shouldn't happen,
No.
and they do happen because people stay quiet. Oh, why don't you take it? That's easy to tell somebody, why don't you take it? Because it's not happening to you.
Right.
But I guarantee if it was
Right.
happening to them, they wouldn't take it.
Oh yeah.
Taking that's like telling someone, hey, punch me in the face. And you go to the doctor, or you tell somebody, you call the cops. Or someone, hey, I got hit in the face. And other people say, well, why don't you just take the punch? Turn your other face next time. Let that one heal, do this one. Um, no, that's criminal. It's insane. Who are you? Why would you say that? No, you don't say that. I'm sorry. You don't. These things keep getting done because not enough people are talking.
Right.
These things are happening to people because not enough people care.
Right.
We're in a world of 2026 where there aren't enough people who care.
No.
It shouldn't be an outbreak like COVID
Yeah.
or the Twin Towers
Yep.
collapsing in
Yep.
order for Americans to give a shit
You're
and
right.
care.
You're right.
Now, Angel, you know, because we have traveled,
Yeah.
when you go to other places outside the US, the
Mhm.
United States of America,
Hmm.
there are people who care.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
Oh yeah.
Completely care. They completely care, and they don't treat you like shit because you're not an Sorry, because you're an American. Don't believe that. Trust and believe, because we went there thinking, man, are they gonna treat us different because we're Americans? No, they actually embrace, talk to you, care, offer a hand, help you out, pay for your meal, even when you didn't ask for it. It's an honor for them. They treat you like royalty. I know because I went through it with Angel. I was like, oh my God. And in the beginning, I'm like, okay, why are they doing this? Why are they so nice? They're nice because that's how they are. That's
It's
the
the
way
culture.
that's their being. Yes,
It's the
it's the
culture.
culture. So don't believe that stigma that, oh no, they don't hate me. No, they don't. They don't.
No.
So many people don't. That's one.
No.
They care more. Two, it needs to be that here. In
Yeah.
the United States of America, people need to care instead of shutting their doors and bringing down their blinds and not caring. Care about your neighbor. When's the last time you've asked your neighbor how he was? When's the last time you've asked the person down the street, hey, how are you? How's your day? Just, well, how hard is that? It's not. It's not hard.
Right.
I do it in my job all the time. It's not an acquirement. It's what comes out of me. It comes out of me to greet people, my associates, every morning. Hi, how are you? And if I know their name, of course I know their name. I'm not going to say their names, but hey, so and so, how are you? Let me tell you something. They smile and they tell me they miss me when I'm not at work for the day off because I bring light. I'm bubbly. I'm professional. I'm caring. I embrace. I condone their existence. I do the same thing for customers. I do the same because you're people.
Right.
That's the way you're supposed to be.
Right.
This shit that you just want to not care, no, that's wrong. It is absolutely wrong. We need more people. We need America. Wake up. Wake up. You need to care. You need to care. You need to do something. You need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
You need to. No, I don't. It's not. As long as we're breathing, it's not too late. It's only too late when you start thinking that. It's only too late when you think it's, oh, okay, well, that person, so fuck them. No, you don't say fuck them. You don't know what the person's situation is.
No.
You don't. That could be that's someone's mom, someone's dad, someone's brother, someone's son, someone's daughter. That is someone that belongs to someone. And that's just how I feel. Yeah. So her story was tough. Oh man. Definitely. There were moments where I was like, okay, when's the good part gonna come? Right. When is the light gonna be at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
But then I started thinking that is her light. This story and her saying things is her light. It is her saying what she said. Right. Listen to her advice, guys. Don't go postal. Don't give the postmaster what they want. And the managers and supervisors don't. Do not hurt them. Do not go postal. Do not start a fight with them, because then they truly win. They truly win. When you kill yourself, they won. You go postal, they won. You fight with them physically, they won. That's what they want. That's what they want. Do not give them what they want. There will always be another way. Now, this is 20 years later. There was other things, other programs, other people, other lawyers, other opportunities. It's always something. Find it. Like she said, she's existing to this day for a reason. In 2026, it's for a reason.
Right.
So not all is lost. It's my advice.
It's good advice, Jessica. Thank you very much for that pep talk that the viewers need. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that don't get talked about, and we're gonna talk about them. And here's how we're gonna talk about them. So if I don't have another guest appearance next Thursday, because we got Lino Miranda coming on Sunday.
Yes.
Got to double check with him, make sure he's still.
He is waiting.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have Lino Miranda on. He is the creator of the CREA application. That's a hot topic in the post office. Yep. Innovator, shop steward, and city carrier at Miami Flagler Station.
Yes.
He and I had the pleasure of working with one another. He's a great guy, stand-up guy. And he's been real supportive of me doing this. It was something I didn't want to do initially. And you know, Jessica, I didn't even want to do this.
No.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't even give a shit. I just didn't care enough to. But, you know, he talked to me, and Jessica talked to me, and a couple other people I know talked to me, and got me to, you know, give it a swing. And I'm going to be honest about something before I let you guys go. You know, I had a situation earlier, and it's because of the systemic retaliation that I'm going through in my own story and my own PTSD and my own things that I'm going through now. I almost canceled the show completely. I was going to walk away. I'm done. I'm not doing it no more. Good luck. Sink or swim. Figure it out. I had to. You know, but after hearing Kim's story and the need for this,
outshadows
your
feelings, because
feelings.
Your feelings, again, feelings.
Yeah.
Those are feelings. They're emotions. PTSD makes that. It makes you heightens everything. But bear in mind, she will literally watch your show. Like so many. I was watching the numbers. The numbers are higher than that.
Yeah, no, I
And
know. That's the YouTube numbers.
yes. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, thank you for all those who are watching.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone when the show airs, but it's not because I'm talking to anyone. I got old co-workers, new co-workers, people, friends from the federal, non-federal friends texting me all the time. So I respond to them because
Right.
they'll either text on the comments on the show or
Right.
they text on my phone.
Right.
And one of my old co-workers was like, Jessica, is this you or is it a scam? And I'm like, no. I'm not going to mention his name, but I said, no, this is me. And I gave him proof that it was me, because I used to work with him in another place. And he goes, holy crap. Oh, and the number, he goes, I'm watching the show right now. Holy crap. He didn't know,
Yeah.
And when he was watching, he was like, oh my God. Like he didn't even know, of what's happening. And people like him, like you and so forth, need a voice. Your story, your show, this show helps people. It helps people, because it makes their day just like it makes yours. I saw you change while you were talking to her very rough past. It's rough, guys, but somebody has to hear it and someone needs to tell it, and it was Kim's to tell. And I even saw her lighten up after she was saying it. That's a tough thing, guys. That's private. The things that she's saying, she's sharing, it's private, guys. That's tough. But I gotta give it to her for saying that. Just like I'm giving it to you and Lino and everybody else that's not talking. I kudos to you for getting up and doing it. But you know what? I have faith that you're going to get out of that little no see, no hear, no talk kind of thing. Stand up for yourself. Stand up.
Well, very good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome. This affects everybody, guys. Wives, husbands, kids. We have a little one. We have a little guy. It affects him. It affects her. Like, it shouldn't be. These things, they affect family. And when you don't say nothing, those people, those bullies, they don't care. They don't care if you eat, you sleep. They don't even care about the little ones.
No, they don't care about nobody but themselves. It's self-preservation.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, just remember your story matters. You matter. Every time you make that fight, it matters.
Right.
Take a stand, it matters. Okay? And you not doing what they want, don't do anything aggressive. Don't give them what they want. Because I guarantee the karma will get them. Oh, it will. They think not, but it will. Okay? So just know that.
All right. Well, we're in the 2-hour margin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so before we let you guys go, Sunday, 8 p.m., we have Lino Miranda again, creator of the CREA program for grievances. So far, it's a hot topic around the internet and around social. So it's going to be good to have him. He actually did my my documentary, my first documentary, part 1. And then he gave me the go-ahead to finish it. So rather than creating a separate documentary, we're going to have it on a live session.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you everything that happened that we didn't get to talk about in part 1. I'm just going to talk about it live instead of creating another video.
I love it.
Just going to do it live.
I love it.
You're going to get it raw and unfiltered, and it is what it is. And everybody else that don't like it, kiss my ass. That's it. That's where I'm at right now. But in any case, guys, that was your Postal Truth for this evening. I'm Angel. This is Jessica. And we thank you so much for the love and support that you've given us over the we're going on 10 months. On the 12th. Makes 10 months. Thank you so much. And hopefully there'll be some light for me very soon. Take care.
And then we're going to over the 2 hour mark.